exercise we have today are bench step-ups. So these are gonna work your legs, they're gonna work a lot of glutes, a lot of booty, they're gonna get some quads in there, a little bit of hamstrings as well. They're a great exercise to start your leg day with as a warm-up because it does get your glutes activated, quads activated, hamstrings going, everything kind of warmed up and going. But also, if it's a movement that you do after the warm-up, it's really nice as well because after you get the form down, after you can actually feel your quads, your glutes, hamstrings working, you can start adding weight to it, and it becomes a really effective leg exercise to build your legs. So the first thing is the setup of the actual thing you're stepping up on. So I think sometimes people step on something that's too low, so they'll step on something that's like where the treadmill is, and that's like a negative challenge, like you're going up a step, and so that's not really much of a workout. Or they have something where it's like, obviously not as high as this treadmill, not as high as the arm or whatever, but it's like up to here, and then take a giant step, and it's just like an impossible exercise to do repeatedly. So most people go to a gym where they have benches, and so a bench is normally a good height for most humans. If you're a significantly taller human, like, yeah, maybe a little bit higher than this would be ideal. If you're significantly shorter, although I'm already relatively short, then maybe you step on the treadmill. But probably not. This is probably a good height for most people. What to focus on is making sure that your entire foot, specifically your heel, is on top of the bench every time. So when you do that, it allows you to support your entire body as you're going up, because your heel oftentimes is where you get a lot of power from with any leg exercise you do. So if you're off it like this, it's really hard to balance yourself and go up. If your heel is all the way on it, even if your toe is kind of off the bench a little bit, it's significantly easier to stay balanced and get power driving yourself up. So that's the first thing, making sure your heel is on it, making sure your entire foot, if possible, is on it, but heel is more specifically. So this is the biggest mistake that I see people make when it comes to step-ups. So most people, when they do them, they're going to have their leg on top of it. That's great. They're going to go to drive up, and when they drive up, they're not using this leg that's on the bench to actually drive themselves up. They're using this leg on the ground to push themselves up and get up. And by doing that, the leg that's actually on the bench you want to work isn't doing anything. It's not doing anything. So if you're right here and you're stepping up like that, you're not really getting much out of the exercise at all. Like, you're getting a negligible amount, nothing. So the way to do that is each rep you do, focus on this leg driving you up. So leave this opposite leg that's on the ground, just almost, you don't want to completely let it hang, and you can get like a little bit involved with the exercise, but you want to think about this leg on the bench doing as much work as possible. So if you're right here, you want to drive up with this leg. So try to think of this leg as just being there. This leg on the bench is doing most of the work. So when you do that, your glutes, quads, everything is going to be really involved with the leg that's actually on the bench. And each rep you do, you should be feeling your glutes, your quads, hamstrings, everything working, as opposed to when you're just using the other foot to step up. A little bit is involved, but obviously not nearly as much as when it's just one leg. So one leg at a time. One leg at a time. Think about that. And the next thing is, when you're doing these, you want to stay pretty controlled throughout. So another thing that you'll see people do is they'll be on here and they're just banging them out and going really, really fast paced. Or they're doing it, they're getting to the top, almost fell, getting to the top, and then they're slamming their leg down. And just a lot of unnecessary pressure on this opposite leg. So the best thing throughout the movement, stay as controlled as possible. So right here, slowly down. Right here, slowly down. So that's going to allow you to work the actual leg more, keep your opposite leg safe, get more out of the exercise, get more out of the movement. All right, so that's how you do step-ups. Eventually you can add weight, start with body weight. Great exercise to do, just get the form down, homies, you got it.